Hi, I'm Eric Bolling in for Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching this special edition of the O'Reilly Factor. Trump versus Clinton, the battle lines are drawn. Now that Hillary Clinton has the Democratic nomination locked up, the big-time endorsements are starting to fall into place, with President Obama stepping off the sidelines to formally back her run for the White House.
I know how hard this job can be. That's why I know Hillary will be so good at it. In fact, I don't think there's ever been someone so qualified to hold this office.
Vice President Biden soon followed, throwing his own support behind Mrs. Clinton. But Donald Trump is dumping cold water on all of it. Listen.
First time ever, by the way, a president of the United States endorsed somebody under criminal investigation. Interesting.
However, a new Fox News poll of registered voters has some bad news for Donald Trump, with Hillary Clinton now beating him 42% to 39%. Just last month, Trump was leading over Clinton 45% to 42%. Does Hillary Clinton really have the advantage now? Joining us now with reaction, Tony Sayegh, a Republican strategist and Fox News contributor, along with Jessica Tarlov, a Democratic pollster and strategist. Okay, let's start with you, Tony. So that's what we see. We see Donald Trump losing 6%, Hillary staying flat versus the last poll. What's it all about?
Yeah, and after the week she's had, you would expect that she probably would have gained a little bit, and that didn't happen. Look, Trump has lost about 10 points among independent voters in this poll. That's where his slippage has come from. But the reality is, she's not really solved any of her larger problems. In this poll, only 44% of voters say she has the integrity to be commander-in-chief. 60% of voters in this poll say they think she's lying about the email and server scandal. So Hillary, again, seems to always have good news stories that never really materialize because her structural deficits as a candidate, likability, honest and trustworthiness, relatability, are so low that she can't overcome them.
All right, Jess, so you can say that Donald Trump had a terrible week to 10 days.
Definitely.
And you can say Hillary Clinton had a pretty darn good week to 10 days, right? Locking down the nomination, et cetera, getting some high profile.
Her foreign policy speech as well at the end of last week.
Which some liked and some thought it was just a shot at Trump rather than a foreign policy speech.
Both of those options are
My
great.
point is this. Wouldn't you think she would have a bigger bump against Trump?
No, well, we need to find out what's going on,
period?
because it wasn't. Tuesday night was the nomination that she clinched it. By Wednesday, Bernie Sanders was still saying that he's fighting on. Thursday came the endorsement. So I'm interested to see what happens over the weekend and where we are at the beginning of next week. Trump has a big foreign policy speech on Monday, which should be interesting to see if he uses that as just a set of shots at her.
The whole difference in that poll isn't that Hillary's getting a big bump from all these good things that have happened for her.
No, but the loss of independence is a really big deal. I mean, that is the demographic, that is the group that Donald Trump needs.
She's not going up. She's 40. She's the same as she was the last poll.
Well, I would say the other big story from this week that we can't lose sight of is Trump's ability to self-correct. Look, he was dropping because of his attack on the judge. He tactically understands now, maybe pushed a little bit.
Really? By saying that his words were misconstrued?
Well, I would say that he actually has totally shifted.
He's losing endorsements that she's getting them.
Endorsements are meaningless in an anti-establishment year. But let me complete it real quick, Jess, because the reality is Trump has shown an ability to tactically change. That's going to be necessary in this type of asymmetric year. Hillary's doing the old classic establishment campaign. I'm rolling out endorsements. I'm raising money for my super PACs. That's not going to have the same effect this year.
What do you think the effect of President Obama's endorsement for Hillary Clinton is? Is it a net positive? It's just, he's got some people who love him. They're going to come over.
The only aspect of it that could be a net positive is helping Sanders out of this race, which I understand now might happen sooner than later as a result of the conversation bringing the Democratic Party together. But don't forget, over 65% of Americans have consistently been saying in polling since October the country's going in the wrong direction. The best thing for Donald Trump is that Obama takes a larger role in this campaign, because the worst argument for her is to try to suggest that she wants a third Obama term. That's not what people really want. And him putting himself in the conversation makes this about him.
Tony points out 2/3 of Americans polled believe the country's in the wrong direction. How about this one? Household medium incomes are down under President Obama. Household savings are way down under President Obama.
And his approval rating's over 50%?
Are we safer more now than we were 7 years ago when President Obama took over, yes or no?
I'm guessing.
I would say no. Are race relations better now than they were 7 years ago, yes or no?
Has he created over 14 million new jobs?
Income inequality, has it gotten better or worse under President Obama?
I'm very
Why
familiar
is
with
an
these
endorsement of someone who's presided over one of the worst economies in modern history is so good? Why is that?
Because he's overwhelmingly popular, and he is one of the most fantastic. He's over 50% approval at this point, which I know is stunning to all of you, because I believe I've talked to you each of us. It is. If you look at where presidents are towards the end of their term, let's talk about where George Bush was.
Reagan was at 60.
Well, Reagan is here no more, and Donald Trump is not Ronald Reagan either.
Let me ask you this,
I want to tell
how about this? 1 second. President Obama.
Yes.
Be president. One of his agencies is the Department of Justice. Under the Department of Justice is the FBI. The FBI is investigating Hillary Clinton. Is it a good idea for the President of the United States, who oversees the FBI, to endorse one of the people they're investigating criminally?
Well, they're separate issues here, and that's why we have branches of government. And yes, I think it was a good idea. It was the right thing to do. He made it clear to Senator Sanders on Sunday that this would be happening. The video was taped on Tuesday. Yes, it is a good idea. He wants the Democrats to win in November. That Hillary Clinton is going to be our candidate, and that's what's going on here. I also think she said very confidently that there will be no indictment, and maybe he knows something we don't know.
Or maybe she does. Even more disturbing is maybe she knows something we don't know.
Very foolishly, though, she said that, because this now sets her up for looking like she's part of this rigged DOJ deal, right? Oh, $75,000 in contributions to her campaign from DOJ employees. Eric, 51% for the president's not overwhelming, but even I would suggest if you say it is, it's because no one's paying attention to him. And in polling, we know when Hillary Clinton, no one was paying attention to her after the State Department, she was at 68% approval. Now that he's injecting himself back, that number is going to go down.
So for the vast majority of the last 5 or 6 months, Hillary Clinton and her camp has said, oh, this is just an investigation. It's just, they're just looking for information. They haven't gone criminal yet. Josh Earnest yesterday used the word criminal investigation when talking about the investigation.
Yeah.
So does she know something we don't know? Does he know something we don't? Has no one told her she's under criminal investigation?
Denial ain't just a river in Egypt. Look, everyone knows it's criminal investigation. The FBI doesn't exactly go after misdemeanors, right? The problem with Clinton is that you have this report coming out from the IG, State Department IG, an Obama appointee who basically has said her rationale for doing it was flawed. She never had authorization. She compromised national security. She hasn't been cooperating. And oh, wait, Eric, her whole defense that everyone else did it is false, according to an Obama appointee.